What's up, guys? It's been such a long time since I posted a video. It's been almost half a year. And in that half a year, a lot of stuff has changed. As you'll see, I'm in a different house now. We finally bought a house. It's been getting lead removed. We've been living out of an RV. It's just been nuts. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we want to talk about how I consistently save over 55% of my income every single month. And this is the system I use to do it. Before we get started, I just want to ask you guys to lightly tap that like button down below, make it turn blue. It really does help me out a lot. And let's get going. So when I was starting my financial independence journey, which I am still on 100%, I was living paycheck to paycheck, which meant we got paid and that money went right back out. There was nothing going to savings. There was nothing going to investments. And I felt stuck. I felt trapped. And I'm sure if you've ever been in the paycheck to paycheck life, you'll recognize that feeling. Well, one day I watched this video by Grant Cardone. I'll try and link it up here. And he was talking about paying yourself first. Basically, he was talking about how you give the government 40% of your income. You may as well pay yourself 40% of your income. And I was like, well, that sounds kind of cool. What if I could control my income and then automatically have all of this money set aside, even if it's 5% of my income, to go into investment and storage for investments? But how on earth am I going to get there? So I needed a system. So I took out my notebook, much like this one. These things are super handy to have on your desk for this very reason. And I started brainstorming. The first thing I did was break these down into two different categories. So the first category was expenses. These are the things that I have to spend money on and don't earn me anything else, really. I have two sections within expenses. I have personal expenses and I have my business expenses. Both of these are fixed dollar amounts per month. Currently, I'm around $10,000 a month on personal expenses and like $300 to $500 a month on business expenses. And then the other category is investments. This I break down also into two categories. I have stock investments and then I have storage, which is just a generic storage account that I use to save up for real estate investments. Now, there's a couple of tools that are absolutely critical for managing all of these different accounts, and I'll have links in the description to all of these things. I use YNAB for my personal expenses. Absolutely critical to make sure I know that I have enough dollars to cover every single thing that my family needs to live during the month. I use Wave accounting for my business expenses, which is a lot less critical to know that I have the dollar to place here. It's a lot more critical come tax time. I use M1 Finance for my stocks, and I use Ally Bank for my storage account. One of the things I really wanted out of this system was the flexibility to change as my income level went up and down over time. One thing I'm always doing is I'm always adding more jobs and removing other jobs. I have 2 contracting gigs, a side hustle, and a main job, and those contracting gigs may go up and down. The side businesses may go up and down, and I want it to adjust to that. And that's why I set the expenses at fixed dollar amounts. That way I'm guaranteed, no matter what my income is, to have enough to support my family, basically. And then the percentage towards investment changes over time. So maybe the best way to sort of show you how this works is to show you the spreadsheet. Okay, so you'll see the spreadsheet on the screen. I'm gonna just run down this real quick. So this is the allocation percentages tab. This is the tab that I use to know how much I'm actually saving towards investments and control how much I'm spending towards expenses every month. So you'll see there's a list of categories. So we have the expenses, personal, business, investment, storage, and stocks. The dollars on the expenses are the things that I input. So I put $10,000 a month in a month for my personal expenses, $250 for my business expenses right now. You can see how those break down as a total percentage on the right-hand side there. And then I control the category allocation for stocks versus storage. As you can see, I'm heavily invested. That's probably the wrong word. I'm heavily focused on storage right now because I'm really trying to get my real estate investments going. So only 10% of my total investment amount is going towards stocks right now. So just below that, you can see my total category allocation. So right now you can see I'm spending about 57% on investments and 43% going towards all of my expenses. Now, if we jump over to the other tab here, this is basically the tab that I use at the beginning of every single month to transfer all of my money across my accounts. All of my money flows into one single account. It's a checking account with Ally Bank. I call it the inbox. That's where money sits for the month until I'm ready to allocate it at the beginning of the month. And when that happens, I go through this list. So it's in priority order. I need to be able to make sure I'm paying my taxes on that contracting money. That's really important if you're doing any sort of contracting. I need to be able to make sure my family has enough to live. Then I need to make sure my business has enough to keep running. And then the investments are added on to that. So I'll go through here, and out of that inbox account, I'll say, okay, cool, I need to contribute $10,000 this month for personal expenses. I will transfer that over into my personal expenses checking account, also with Ally Bank. I will take $250, transfer that over to my expenses account with Ally Bank for my business. And then anything remaining, I will distribute across the investments. Now, my income is not month to month. A lot of my income comes from stock benefits, sort of irregular payments. So this isn't consistent every single month, but it's pretty close. And you'll see all the way on the right-hand side, I have an annual contribution amount, which helps me sort of balance that irregularity in income. And that's how I do it. Now, there are some downsides with this. One of the biggest downsides is it's quite a bit of work on the first of the month. Now, I love this. I'm really excited about it every single month. I'm just really excited to go in and transfer all this money and just click auto budget in YNAB, and it's just all there and it's done. And I know that we can make it through that month, which is amazing. Like I said before, YNAB is absolutely critical to this whole thing, because without knowing where all of my dollars are going ahead of time, I just wouldn't be able to be confident enough in this system for it to work. The other big downside to the system is it takes some serious patience and dedication to get there. If you're currently living paycheck to paycheck and you start thinking about this system and the fact that you need to have a 1 month buffer before you can even consider starting it, that's really scary and daunting and hard, and it was not easy to start building that up. I got lucky. We sold our house in San Jose, and so I had a bit of like a large amount of cash come in from that was able to boost it. Prior to that, I was probably about 2 weeks buffered just through regular saving, but it's hard, and that's one of the big downsides here. But it's been incredibly powerful to me to be able to control this over time. You know, I've gone from 45% to 60% savings over time, and it adjusts and ebbs and flows with my income. And with the times that we are in right now, I mean, it's more beneficial than ever to have a full handle on your expenses and to be trying to put some money into investments and grow that nest egg so you can have that for the future. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope it gives you an idea for a strategy to get here, to be able to pay yourself first. It's not the only strategy to get there. So if you use this one or anything similar, I'd love to talk about it down in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.